always love hearing from you. We love hearing your comments after you place your order. Hold on the line and say hello. Share with others what they can expect, whether it might be their very first J. King purchase. There's nothing quite like it. And speaking of brand new, I know many of you were asking about the earrings that I'm wearing and the bracelet that I've been wearing. Actually, I have two bracelets on, but we also, in this case here, we're gonna highlight the beautiful heart-shaped motif in the bracelet that is brand new at $139.98 and appraised at over $200. And then we have the matching earrings. Those are $114.98 and they appraised at $190. Everything J. King. Now this is not something we do every J. King show. We're offering 6 monthly flex payments. So you can take the next 6 months and break those payments up equivalently.
What are you trying to say?
Equally, Lynn.
Oh, see, I got it. Hey, I should get it. I got it the first time out.
I like when to say evidently. No, Lynn.
No.
Equally. Anyway, which is so great. And then if you're saying, well, boy, I want the earrings, I want the matching, you know, bracelet to go along with it, you're going to save on your shipping and handling too. So you're only paying full price shipping for your first J. King piece, all jewelry on the day today. So if you purchased anything so far, everything else that you add is going to be half price shipping and handling. So that's always exciting. Love these earrings. They're just about 1 13/16 of an inch in length. Super duper comfortable. And this is Andean blue turquoise that we're highlighting in the bracelet and the earrings.
Right. And you know what makes us so unique? Okay, two things. These are brand new for the show, brand new for the event. We did them just to release for now. This is beautiful contemporary hearts. Unfortunately didn't design this, okay? This is one of my other designers. All of our designs that we have, just so everybody knows, we don't buy any other designs. We don't, we have a small group. Everything is done in-house with us. So I used to design the line at 100%. You know, the problem is when you're designing like that, pretty soon, I have my look. It's really funny because
I know immediately.
Lynn knows right away.
Big, bold, fabulous.
Yeah, well,
they're great.
You know, Lynn goes, she goes, you didn't do this, right? Or she'll go, you did this. And so, you know, because I do definitely have kind of my look or my feel that I want to do. This is one of our artists. Very contemporary. I love this. I love this open heart design. I like what they did with the graduated hearts as they go down. Very, very fashion forward, very contemporary heart. Again, these are all individually hand done. And then to top it off, what they've done is they've added this splash. This is Andean blue turquoise.
So
What's so important about turquoise is this. I don't know if you've noticed, Lynn and I were talking just before the show. Have you noticed it's not what you see in the market?
It's where?
It's what you don't see in the market. And right now, what are you not seeing? Remember, you know, like even think back like a couple of years ago, right? Think of how much turquoise. All the designers were using turquoise, and you saw a lot of turquoise, and you saw a lot of this blue material. You saw, I mean, everybody had it in their designs. They were doing it. The thing is turquoise hasn't gone down in value. In fact, there's a recent kind of study that went on, and turquoise is going up in value. And the reason is they're not the supply. There's a worldwide demand for it. The supply is just not there, guys. You know, just like this material, this Andean material, this comes out of a very small deposit in Chile. This material I buy and collect every year. We have somebody that goes, when they're mining it, they only mine it 6 to 8 weeks out, or 6 to 8 months out of the year, depending on the weather. They mine it over 12,000 feet. So depending on the snowpack, or if it's frozen or whatever, this is all hard rock mining. We have somebody that actually goes to the mine. They go every 2 to 6 weeks, depending on how much production the miners are bringing out. And they don't buy just from any one person. They look at everything. We only take the select. We pay a premium price for it. But you know, sometimes it might take 2 to 3 months for our buyer to actually accumulate enough turquoise rough to make it worth us shipping. So I guess what I'm trying to say here is the rarity of this turquoise material. I don't know of anybody else that I'm aware of on the TV circuit or the TV market who actually has this rough. I have a lot of people trying to buy my rough right now.
So clean.
A lot of the manufacturers are approaching me right now trying to buy rough because they can't get it. But this is what you want. You want this nice, clean, high blue, and this is the natural color. Okay, this isn't dyed. You know, I'm seeing more and more of it. In fact, I was just talking to one of the people that does a lot of who's head of the qual control this morning, and what they're seeing is they're seeing a lot of people that are bringing in things to them that are dyed or they're color enhanced materials,
it to be
but
real.
they're not turquoise. They're the turquoise color, but they're not turquoise because they can't get the turquoise.
That's scary. And they're claiming it to be real, Jay?
They're not claiming it to be real. They're just showing it in their designs as turquoise, and it's the turquoise color. But you know, if you sell something here, it all has to be GIA tested.
100%.
So you can be 100% sure of what you're getting. But this all starts, just so everybody knows, it's the rarity, it's the custom design, right? Very contemporary. Every one of these are individually handcrafted by our artists. This isn't something that's mass produced. It's not something that is really high tech. Every one of these is individually handcrafted, hand created, from scratch, from the raw materials, from the sterling silver, and in this case, the turquoise rough, and this is a piece of the Andean.
And when we say high blue, let me show that to you.
Look at this, and this is the natural color of this material. Do you see the color of this material? That is all the natural, this is the natural turquoise. This is how it comes out. The only thing I've done to this is I buffed it. I just took a leather wheel and polished it up.
But that all has to be custom cut, so it fits perfectly.
Well, even think about
I had a question on Facebook.
On how they cut that.
About the sizing on the bracelet. It will adjust. I want to show you the backing on here. Yeah,
Right.
we'll talk about the cut in a minute. From 7 1/4 inches up to 8 1/4 inches, and a nice, large, oversized lobster claw clasp on there too. So it's easy to put on and easy to take off. Jay, you know the big stores out there, they just do one little single silver heart in a bracelet. And it's about 4 times the price of what we're doing here at $139, let alone the 6 flex pays to get it home for under $25. And then the drop earrings, how beautiful are they? They set forward, again, custom cut with the Andean, that high blue turquoise. You can see how it pops so beautifully. See how it frames Kate's face perfectly there. It's so,
I love
pretty.
how Kate's wearing them too, but you can think about this, you could also turn them around and they could go the other way. So there's 2 different ways you can wear them. But if you look at this and look how elongating they are, and look at the size of these, okay? And the great thing with these earrings, of course, I don't wear pierced ears, only clip-ons, okay? Only clip-ons.
Only on special
and
occasions,
only on
you
Halloween,
told me.
only during Halloween,
Oh, yeah.
okay, when I dress like a pirate. But Kate, are those comfortable?
Oh, yeah.
You know, the nice thing with them, and just so everything you know, okay, we not only design, but my team, we try to make everything where it's wearer friendly, right? You know, all these tests, you know, every time you see an earring, do you know that we have our crew, our family, they wear these sometimes for 2 or 3 days. They'll answer the phone, they'll do their whatever job they're doing, qual, stringing, whatever they're doing, and they'll see how functional they are, because there's nothing worse. You know what? Think about, you know, like I know in my wife's case, she has tons of jewelry designs that I didn't make for her, but that she's bought over the years and she's collected. But a lot of them, they're absolutely gorgeous and they look beautiful in a showcase, but they're not functional.
And if they're not comfortable, you're not going to wear it.
You never see her wear it. And the reason is because either they're too heavy, they're not wear friendly, they're too difficult. So I will just assure you that anything that we make really is something that there's a lot of thought that's gone into it, and they've been wear tested to make sure that they are wear friendly.
So fair to say true and tried, and that's a promise. The first time we've ever done, brand new today, the beautiful full heart sterling silver Andean turquoise bracelet and matching earrings. Most people are getting with the 6 flex pays and the buy more and save, the match, the bracelet and the earrings. It's a great, smart thing to do.
You know what? I didn't do a necklace on this. We did the earrings. I thought that was so cool that we went ahead and did a bracelet. We didn't do a pendant, but maybe down the road we might.
I wish we could do it before and after, because I'm going to take off